How was practice?
It was solid. You know, we're in that process right now where we've moved into Miami of Ohio. You know, a little bit more sort of crossover type stuff, and so trying to teach the younger players how that practice goes. Whether you're on a look team or whether you're a young player playing sort of on that varsity field for the first time. Like, you got to realize that the tempo, what's expected, on both sides of the ball. We've the look that we need to give the defense has to be as crisp as possible, and then the defense has to play every look, and we try to give them hard stuff, so there's going to be some stuff that we got to get corrected, which is good. The practice isn't about making them feel good. It's about giving them some hard stuff and see if they can work through it, because that's what they're going to have to do on Saturdays, and then making the corrections.
You've talked about the mix of young and old. Do you have to mix the young in? Like, do you need to have the old guys in when you're putting in some of those young guys?
Yeah, I think you do. And because you put a whole field of young guys out there, you never know what the communication or what the output will be. So trying to get that balance, of old and new, so that there's the proper communication. They understand the tempo. They understand what's expected, from a communication, alignment, assignment, technique, how the play goes, the finish, all that stuff. So, but we've had that all the way through camp, thus far. So really today's no different in that regard.
Brad, Rich said they probably threw the ball more than expected, I guess, in the scrimmage. How do you feel the secondary held up against Will on the ones?
Yeah, I thought it was good at times. There were some times that things got a little bit loose. That again, that's why you practice, and some things that you may have seen for the first time, and that's good. Like, that's playing against this kind of offense. It's going to stress you, and Coach Gang, he understands how to get guys open and stress defenses, and so I personally, I don't ever want it to look terrific, because then there's not much that you can teach off of. So, but there were good things. There were good competitive plays on the football. There were good pass offs on route combos. I thought the pass rush was active on Saturday, which was good, which helped on some of those. So, but overall, this is going to be a big game and a big challenge for us. Miami of Ohio, they're going to stress you down the field, and so we're going to see early how these guys do.
That pass rush, Mark talked about that on Saturday. Is that something consistently you've seen from the starter game? Is really kind of your front, calling have it, getting pressure?
Yeah, but I've been around this a long time to know that pressure in camp doesn't necessarily mean the same kind of pressure on game day, and so. We got to see it on Saturday. Seeing it out on the practice field and seeing it in scrimmages is good, but I'm not going to anoint or talk about how good it is until I see it on Saturdays. And then, even then, we got to sustain it week and week and week and week. So,
Mark seems really pleased with the secondary based on the time with the team. Are there individual guys who are really taking a step there at this point, or is it just kind of a group depth situation that he's so happy with?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think individuals have elevated their game from last year or from spring. I think the addition of the transfers of Kedron and of Zion have been a big boost, to our defense and to that back end. And so it's a little bit of both, that you can roll guys in and not skip a beat. I've also seen guys like Max Harrison really take a step forward, and he's still young, but he's long and he can run. I think Carrington's ready to take a big step forward. I think we've talked about that. Andrew Phillips has had a good camp. Now he needs consistency. There's been a day or two in there where maybe not as clean as he had been, or on a whole from the whole from camp wide. So That's a big thing, for him. It's just that consistency piece. But everybody's got their days where they look really good. Some days not quite as good, but overall, they're communicating, they're talking, and they're making plays on footballs. But again, that's got to show up on Saturdays, not just on practice fields.
Are those corners in a spot where you're comfortable rotating them for equal kind of snaps, or is there separation still between that first and second?
No, I think there's good competition. I think you feel really good about sort of a 3 to a 4-man rotation there. Obviously, would it be split snaps? We'll see. That's still up to be yet to be determined. Obviously, I think Carrington's been a guy that started for us last year and sort of the leader of that group. But Kedron and Drew can play just the same. And then again, I think Max is a guy that can go in the game and you can feel comfortable that he's going to have enough old guys around him to make sure that the calls and the checks are right, and then his athletic ability is going to sort of take over from there.
Couple more guys.
When you're looking at those guys like Kedron, those transfer portal guys, how important is fit to what you're doing, or do you take a guy and say, okay, well, not sure if he can fit, but he's just too good to pass up? No,
it's got to be a fit, and the first piece of the fit is it's got to fit personality-wise. Because if you bring in a guy that doesn't fit sort of the culture of our unit and the way they play, if it's individualistic, if it's going to be about me, if it's just about my NFL draft stock or this or that, then hey, listen, it's not, this ain't the place for you. But if you want to come in and you want to compete, on a really good defense, and you want to get taught, and you want to play in a scheme that's going to push you and challenge you, because it's not easy and you got to pick it up fast, but it's going to be about team and team success and unit success. Those are the guys we want, and we want smart guys. And Kedron, Zion, they fit that mold. They've come right in, they fit right in with the teammates. They've checked, all of them checked their ego at the door, just a lot like Jock did last year. And they don't ever want anything given to them. If you're a guy that you just want to walk in and be given to you, it's the wrong place. But they compete on a daily basis, and it's fun to watch. And you're going to see a lot of those guys.
Coach, we've heard a lot about pass rush and different things like that. How have those backers been doing when they've had to drop back into coverage and maybe in scrimmages and practice?
So say that one more time.
So how have the linebackers been doing when they've had to drop back into coverage or help out in that aspect?
The inside or the outside rushers?
Just the linebacker core in general.
Okay. Well, obviously our inside guys are primarily in coverage. Our outside guys, they can be, coming or going. But obviously, when you bring back, two guys like DeAndre and Jock, you're in a really good position. They understand what we're trying to get done. Their communication, their depth, their vision. It's as good as I've been around. And then guys like De'Eric and Trevin Wallace and those guys, they understand, they've grown in this defense, and so those guys are as solid as it gets. Outside wise, again, you're dealing with guys like Jordan Wright, who's going to be here for his 6th year. JJ's about to start his 4th, so they understand. They've done it before, and they've made big plays in coverage. So I feel good about those guys.
All right, guys, we got players over here for you.